Hello everyone, and welcome to the RNG University. On tonight's episode, Mono White Control. So we did aggro and it was very successful. I would say it's a strong deck. We did mid-range and it was very unsuccessful because it's a weaker deck. But now we're gonna go to the other end of the spectrum and we're gonna look at the full control package. Now, I've tried to play mono white control before, and it was not very successful. When it comes to control decks, when we are just white, we don't have a lot of the disruption package that is needed, like mono black does and like blue has. So we're gonna see whether or not mono white control can actually hold its ground once the meta has already settled and we already know what most likely our opponents are playing. So this deck starts off. No one drops, obviously, but we do have removal in the way of lay down arms. This is a very good card, especially in a mono white deck. Then we have 4 Ambitious Farmhand and 2 Cathar Commando, sort of a removal for artifacts or enchantments, but also a flash creature if we need a secret blocker somewhere along the line, right? So she is good in both category. And then we have 1 Faithful Absence. I really noticed that in mid-range decks that we really needed a removal for a Thalia or a creature that just needed to be killed, and our laydown arm just can't catch it. We also want to remove Planeswalkers, and we have no other way of really killing Planeswalkers. So a Faithful Absence, just one of, could be useful. And of course we have 4 Spirited Companion for card draw and for just a blocker if we need it. So something that is different from the previous deck, from the mid-range deck, is that instead of having 3 offs, we actually have 4 Ambitious Farmhand for lands and 4 Spirit Companion for additional card draw. We have a lot more of these. Well, one more than each cases. But because of that, we have to cut down on the actual sort of steady card draw in terms of Bank Buster. So we only run 2 offs, not 4 Bank Buster, which I really hate happening, but it kind of has to happen because we don't have that much chance in letting a Bank Buster sit and draw all 3 of those cards. A lot of times we're already losing or have lost the game by the time we've drawn 3 cards from Bank Buster. So this card is extremely slow for our deck that does not have a lot of responses, and that's why we can't have 4 offs. There's only 2 off in the deck. And I removed the other 2 Bank Busters so that we can put some Cathar Commandos for blockers, for removals, if necessary. And that makes the control deck controllier. And then in the 3-drop, of course, 4 Restoration of Eiganjo. This is a great control card, right? We can use it to sort of ramp, but at least fetch a land fetch a plane from our deck. We can also use the 2nd chapter to ramp us or return one of the 2 drops, right? We need another land, or we need to destroy an artifact enchantment, we need to draw another card, or if somehow they abraded our Bank Buster, here it comes again. And this is something that I noticed a lot better, it works a lot better than the 3 drops in terms of the tax guy, the guy that chooses a card and then tax it for 2 mana in a control style, at least I believe. And then, of course, for Wedding Announcements. Wedding Announcements good in any form of a slower style in white, right? We can get creatures out as attackers, blockers, we can draw cards, eventually it will be an Anthem effect. It's just good all around. Wedding Announcement is how we actually planning to win this game. Then in the 4 drops, of course we have 4 Wandering Emperor. We need that, and I cut down the Serra Paragon down to 1 because I feel like it gets stranded in our hand a lot, and if we really needed to bring something back from the graveyard, we always have Restoration of Eiganjo to do that for the small cast. So Serra Paragon is really just there if we really we wanted a ultra control, right? We wanted to beat our opponent's control deck. She might be good, and that's why I only run 1 offs. I don't want that to be stranded in my hand too often. And we need to have 2 Depopulate to kill a big board. So Depopulate is good for a Wrath effects. Then, of course, we also have Farewell in the Overwrath effect. I think this is necessary because a lot of times our opponent is using soldiers, and if we wrath their board, they're going to have more soldiers due to Siege Veteran. So we have an Overwrath in Farewell so that we can exile anything we want. Very important against a lot of decks. And then 2 Sanctuary Wardens to have the ultimate sort of a win con at the end for a flyer, for indestructible, or with shield counters and all that. She's very good. So you notice in this deck we don't have any 5 cast. We go from 4 drops and then we jump to 6 drops, and that is the controlly style. We only include cards that we believe are absolutely necessary, and we cut cards that are not, aggressively tempoed to today's matchup. I hope all those keywords dropped in makes it sound a little better. But what I'm saying is I cut AO. That's all I'm saying. I cut AO because it's never impactful whenever I play them, and a lot of times it gets stranded in my hand, so I don't like it too much. That's why he is cut. Now, when we look at the lands, right, we need a lot of planes for laydown arms, but luckily we have a lot of fetches for planes in Ambitious Farmhand and in Restoration of Eiganjo, so we can get away with running a little bit less land. We have 18 planes, 1 Eiganjo, 1 Blast Zone, and then 4 Rosai Reliquary, because we do have enchantments, we do have artifacts, so we might be able to draw 2 cards. So overall, that's the control deck, and I'm going to try it out. I cannot say this is going to be a better deck than the aggro one. I almost guaranteed it's not, but I want to find out whether or not it's more fun to play. The experiment that I'm running is not which deck is better, because the aggro deck is always better with the way Arena is formulated. They don't want you to play any other style because you're getting punished for playing the game. But we're going to try to see whether or not we can have fun with these style of decks. So I kept this hand because we have 2 lands and a ramp and a card draw and a 3-drop. All good things for this deck to run out. So we're going to drop a Farmhand because I'm not sure I'll draw a land next turn, so I want to make sure I have a land in my hand. Our opponent is blue and red, so they could have counterspells. Our opponent is Jeskai, so they definitely will have counterspells. Luckily for us, they don't know how to play against a white deck. You don't want to have 2 mana and waste it on a Bankbuster this early against a deck like this, because we just get Wedding Announcement out, and now they're behind. But they are Jeskai, they could have a removal, right? So that's not 100% a misplay. All I'm saying is, it's tricky. Because once you let a Wedding Announcement out from your opponent, you are conceding the ample value that Wedding Announcement can give. I'm getting a card draw from here right now. And then I'll get another card draw from Spirited Companion. If he wants to counter it, that's fine. That takes a card draw away from him. I hope I draw a land, because I didn't play a land this turn. I'm not going to play a land this turn. Alright, so even though we had a very good opening, the Shuffler said, I want you to lose. So they decided not to give us a land. Still didn't give us a land. And that means we're a little bit behind now. Because even though we went first, we're behind on land drops. We're going to get depopulated this turn, which is fine. At least, we didn't get depopulated. That is surprising. We also didn't get a land. That's also surprising, but unfortunate. I am going to attack regardless. And it is what it is. He's just taking all the damages. I'll play another Farmhand. Hopefully it doesn't get countered, because I don't have any lands. All these card draws and no lands. Alright, so he let it out. He might want to remove my board. I might be okay with that. Alright, he probably has a removal, which means that I want to play my Bankbuster, but he could counter it, and he still has a card draw. Do I want to force out a counterspell? He's going to remove the board anyways. I think it's probably better to force out a counterspell, because I'm a little bit scared about him having more counterspells. Next turn I have 5 mana. No, I think I want to play the Spirit Companion, because I don't care if it dies or not. I just need to have card advantage. He's going to draw a card. He's going to draw a card. He's just waiting for my, whatever that's called, the, not initiative, something else. Anyways, now I gotta discard a card. This deck, I don't know if Laydown Arm is gonna do anything, and I only have 4 lands, so I want to get rid of 1. I also don't think Depopulate is gonna do anything. He has 5 mana now. It's gotta be a removal coming somehow. Oh, Firestorm. There it is. That's the first removal, which we all saw it coming. Now, let's get a Wedding Announcement out again. And we'll also get a Bankbuster out. Like I said, winning announcement is such a good tempo play that the opponent is usually on the back foot once it comes out. But we could be starting facing Farewells. They're on 6 mana, and Farewells will kind of get us. Yep. And the good thing is we have more wedding announcements, so at least we got that going, which is nice. Not a land. Still, usually we don't get lands when we need to get land drops, and we will start to flood when we actually need to play impactful cards. This is the way the Shuffler is geared towards today's sort of deck building for anyone who likes to play Magic. The Shuffler likes to make you frustrated, which, I mean, I think anyone who plays Magic has felt that way. Did it have any other place? No. No place. That's interesting. Well, we got 6 mana. It's gonna draw a card during our... That's not correct. Don't do that. Okay, kids? Those kind of play are usually wrong. Now, he could have, to be fair, he could have a... Well, first of all, I'm going to choose Artifacts, and I'm going to choose Graveyard, because I don't know what he does with his Graveyard, and I don't have anything in my Graveyard. But he could have a Spell Pierce with a deck like that. You never know. But like I said, you don't want to draw a card until it's the end step of your opponent's turn, because most likely you're not doing anything. Fires of Victory. You're not going to draw a card? I don't know if that's right. Alright, here's a lot of mana. Wonder if he's going to play something. Like a card draw spell? I can slowly bring him down, but he's probably going to counter the Sanctuary Warden. Does that mean I shouldn't play the Sanctuary Warden? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 mana, which means that he has a counter spell. If I play the Warden and he counters it, I kind of have to play it right now. Because I feel like we're going to lose if I don't play it. If it gets countered, we lose anyways. But hey, against a deck like that, they have the initiative, right? We have to stop our opponent from playing things. So we have to basically force our opponent to respond to our play. I didn't like that, but it had to be done. It's a lot of removal for our opponent's hand. But just removal is not going to save him. Until he removes my last creature, that is. Alright, remove my last creature. That will be game, because I have nothing else. Memory Deluge. Now they're getting the tempo effect on a control deck, and we are petering out. So, yeah, we're playing a control deck against a way better color pie for the control. They got red for removal. They got... Yes. I'm going to destroy my own card just to get an additional card draw. But yeah, they got red for removal. They got blue for counterspells. We cannot stand up to that. Unfortunate. Sanctuary Warden. That's fine. They have theirs. We don't have ours. That's the fair type of game that we're playing. But to be fair, I chose to play mono white, so it's my fault. It's also my fault that we start to flood right when we don't need it. You can have 3 life. Do they have a counterspell? They have 3 mana. Single pay wouldn't stop this. Alright, and then we'll Restoration of Eiganjo. Maybe this will bring something out. Definitely getting a pling. Okay, so I want to discard a card, which means that I don't want to play an extra land. I have too many lands anyways. I'll probably discard this playing to bring back my Doggo. He's really thinking about the Blast Zone. I don't know if he has any permanents that matter. But hey, he can think all he wants. I am going to add 1 charge counter on this. Because I'm not really popping any 1-drops, but 2-drops there could be a lot of. Okie dokie. Yes, I'm dropping this plane. Doggo, please. It's gonna come in as a 2/2. Very fun. Draw a card. Another restoration. Oh boy. Back to back. Can't exile the Deluge, which means bad things for us. He draws another 2 cards. 2 of his best cards from the top 7. That's not fun, but it is what it is. There it is. Big Deluge. And this is where we're going to lose. Right? So that's unfortunate. We are playing a control deck against a better control deck. Again, a lot of times, Matchmaker do this to you. You know, when you play an aggro deck, they'll pin you against a better aggro. You're playing a control deck, they'll pin you against a better control. If we're playing against an aggro deck, we would have won easily. We got Depopulate, we got Farewell, we have Removal, I think we drew all of our laydown arms. Right? All of the laydown arms. 100% would have won that game. But no, not happening. Have fun with control, because the game hates us. Alright, we're going to discard a card and bring it back. Let's discard the Farmhand. That way it's free. Let's get another playing out of the deck. And we got a Farmhand out for free, so might as well play a land. The question is, does he have Emperor? If I attack, Emperor won't really do anything. I guess you could exile my Spirited Companion, but do I really care about that? Fires of Victory. Well, you got it. That's a lot of card draws. There's the Emperor. What would he like to do?
Anyone who harms my people must contend with me.
I'm not quite sure what he's gonna do, but gotta do something. Good thing we have wedding announcement or wedding festivities out. So if you just make such creature and blocks, or just trade. Which I mean, I still don't want it to trade, so let's make this happen. It's not a very good play, but we're behind already, and I don't want it to keep falling behind. If we trades, he can make another 2/2, and we're not going to get anywhere. Sunset Reverie. Does he get everything? He doesn't get a card. That's the only one that I care about. Everything else, I'm fine. The Wandering Emperor doesn't really do much against me for a slower turn, I would say, for a few slower turns.
We've got the edge in this fight.
How many mana do we have? Can I add 2? Go up to 4, so I can pop the Emperor. Alright, I can lay down arm the Citizen, and then attack the Emperor. I will do just that. I don't really like laying down arms on a Citizen here, but the game is not going our way. He can double block. He will double block, which I'm okay with if the Farmhand dies.
Always glad to meet my match.
And the Play another Restoration of Eiganjo. We got a lot of these. Then on the deck a little, we got 27 cards, so it's 31. Against a control deck, if we're drawing more cards, at least we're doing something right. He's gonna dissipate this. Well, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna play the land out if that's the case. Because I thought I was gonna get another land out. Another Memory Deluge. Okay. Because of that, I don't think we stand a chance. He has 2 card draws. We're down to our lay down arm and depopulate. None of these are going to do anything. And if he has a field board wipe or removal for Architect, we can't really come back at all from this. 20 minutes of this game. A control game versus a control game. I don't see this going anywhere. No. Destroy Evil. You got it. Probably gonna make a 2/2 samurai, right? That's a lot of cards in his hand. No? That's greedy.
Strike fast and strike hard.
I guess he gets to be greedy. Alright, we draw a land. I'm gonna leave. That's too much card advantage, and even though we're pretty even, we're pretty much out of threats. So yeah. Playing a white control deck, if your opponent is blue, you should leave early because you're going to waste your time. If you got really lucky and your opponent gets flooded, you could win that game. But 9 games out of 10, you're just at a loss. It's basically you threw paper and your opponent threw scissors. So can mono white control actually work? I do want to see that in action against not a blue control deck, right? That deck was just, they counter our most impactful spells, and we have no chance of winning that game. We get a good hand again this time, but unfortunately we're going second. And if our opponent drops an island, we might as well quit. Not an island, at least. But this is probably Grixis. No, so far not Grixis. That's good. Farmhand into a Plains. I mean, he can kill our Farmhand. Wow, really? We still get to get a land out. Okay, so far it's... Nah, it's Grixis. Oh boy. Okay, so that's that game now. Well, we're gonna have to lay down arm this little guy here. Too scary, and we'll get our Bankbuster out just so that they can abrade it, but at the very least it's something. I thought it was just whatever black-red is called. Rackle? Yeah, but it's not. And they got removal in Corpse Appraiser, they got everything against our deck. Again, so we're playing against 2 very good control decks. Using our stupid mono white deck. So yeah, we got that going. Alright, let's get out the wedding announcement. I was considering whether or not I want to use Cathar Commando on the Fable. I might still need to do that. But for now, I'm going to see what he plays turn 4. Because I don't even know if I can lay down Army Shieldred, because I can't. Do I block? I can take the 3. Yeah, there's the Shieldred. Gotta draw a card. Not even a land. Alright, we'll tap this to get out of Plains. Just so that we can play this Plains and use it to exile the Shieldred. Now the Reflection is going to be live because, well, it is what it is. Wow, back-to-back Shieldred. That's a fair game we're playing here. So we'll draw another card. Lose another life. Or 2 lives. Can we even do anything? We'll discard the We'll discard a commando. That way we can bring it back for a free kill on the reflection, because we're going to need to do that. I think we need the wedding announcement now. We need more creatures out on the board. And we also need to kill the reflection before it gets a chance to activate. Because if he activates reflection, even if we in response kill the reflection, the copy still goes because it's on the stack. We have to kill the copy in order for the reflection's ability to disappear. We can't do that, so we're just gonna let all these out. At least we got a lot of creatures, right? But if we can't remove Shieldra, we'll just die in like 3 turns. And an Invoke will kill us anyway, so that's not great. Another Appraiser, good job. You're very good at the game. Yep. Opponent goes first, has better draws than ours, and yeah, what did we use to lay down arm on? Did we use it on the Bloodpipe Harvester? No. We use it on a Shieldred, and why is there 2 in the graveyard? I don't know what's going on. Let's see if our opponent even attacks. He does not. That means we get to draw a card. That is not something that removes Shieldred, which means I will take more damage. Oh, we use it on a token. Yeah, because we had to. Otherwise they ramp, and then we lose. Should I draw a card first? Drawing a card here really hurts. We're going to go down to 6. But you know what? We're going to lose anyways. Go big or go home. Oh, that's a land. So I guess we're going home. We're at 6. Do we die to 1 Invoke? I think we do. And we have no life gain in this deck. Destroy all creature with power 2 or less. And then we sack the greatest creature, greatest power. And then we'll just die. Alright, you win. Because your deck was better. Not because you played better. In fact, you didn't play any good. I am very salty because we've been... I don't even think we had bad draws. In fact, we had very, very good draws for both of these games. Very uncharacteristic of the Shuffler to give us such good draws. We cannot use them though because the Matchmaker basically gave us our worst matchup. They look at a deck and they say, you know what's really bad against your deck? Let's pin you against those decks. So that's what we did. Alright, so far we lost 2 games using mono white control, which is even more frustrating than mono white mid-range, which tells us something about how good mono white is when it's not aggressive. And that is not. Alright, Wizards have been really, really pushing mono white. If you played Magic in the last 2 years, you've noticed that mono white decks are really the way to go in Standard. However, you can only play aggressive decks. Any other style of mono white so far has not worked. I'm gonna see whether or not I can make this game work. But our opponent's level 99. Oh, that's really scary because we're level 0. Alright, we start with the Jetmir Garden. I don't need another land, so let's ramp out with a Spirited Companion. Get a land anyways. Alright, so this is, I don't know what color this is meant to be, but they got a Bankbuster out. We're going to get a Roadside Reliquary out. And we're going to get land number 4 in our hand, but land number 7 total. Because we have too many lands in the deck. Is that the reason why? Alright. First time on turn 3 we don't have a 3-drop play since we have 8 of them in a deck. That's unfortunate. Let's see what our opponent does with their 2 mana. They're level 99, so we really don't stand a chance, but Sometimes you just gotta play to your outs. Another blue deck! Well, what do you know? It's like all of the aggressive decks went away as soon as we started playing Control, and the matchmaker decided, hey, you know what? You can't face up against counterspells. Why don't you play against those decks? If I was playing aggro, all of these decks would have fallen to the aggressive deck easily. But since I'm not playing aggro, this is what the matchmaker decided to happen. Alright, I'm gonna just drop Wandering Emperor on my turn because I have no other play. So let's pump up the farmhand here.
Then guided like water. We've got the edge in this fight.
Yeah, it looks dumb playing Emperor on your own turn, but it's either that or depopulate my own board. At least we're not missing card draws. Brotherhood War.
You're going to rest in pieces.
Yeah, you're gonna rest in something, alright? Bankbuster. Draw a card. Oh, look at that. We draw another land. That's exactly what we needed. Think he has a removal? Well, if he has a removal, he will remove the Samurai anyway. So let's just put a some counter out of nowhere. And that way the Emperor is not wasted.
Training.
We now need an enchantment for the Roadside Reliquary to trigger. Otherwise, we only draw one card, which is kind of sad. Let's hope our opponent is mana screwed. 4 lands is a lot for them already. But hey, look at all the lands we have. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lands. Alright, control deck. Not mana screwed. What chance do we have? Also, what deck is this? It's got a lot of colors in there. It's got green. So it's everything but black so far. Milestone, Wheatstone. He's gonna draw 2 cards. He's probably gonna get Urzon on me. Is he waiting to not draw a card? I'm confused. I mean, you might as well draw a card now because you know the Milestone, Wheatstone is not going to be used to activate anything else. Our opponent decides to rope anyways. A Blast Zone. Well. Hey, at least it's a different kind of land, right? I put in 2 Cathar Commandos in the deck for these kind of matchups where they have Bankbusters and Milestones and Wheatstones. But, you know, what serves a lot better than Cathar Commando to us are Plains. But we need our Plains. Remember in the first game where we only had 3 Plains the whole game? And also the second game, I think. But now, all we get are Plains. Let's make a Samurai. And then quit. I don't know where this is going. If he has Urza, can we even do anything to Urza? I don't think so.
Keep watch for intruders.
Alright, I think our opponent is level 99 by roping. Because they're roping on the easiest place. Alright, this might be a whole video without me winning a single game. Never happened before, but this is gonna happen today because Mono White Control is somehow worse than mid-range. Because at least mid-range had tempo plays. Mono White Control has Plains. Cityscape Leveler. Wow. What is he destroying? Okay, it's gonna resolve.
I'm never done for good.
Kill my Emperor? It was at 1. Should have killed a Bankbuster. That's card draw. Okay. Is that all he does? I'm gonna put another one on this. He had a response to me putting a counter on Blast Zone? How? He has no mana. Is he on full control mode? I am so confused on what just happened. But hey, you know what? We have 7, right? So 4, 5, 6, 7 mana if we want to use 2 to draw a card. But if we play a land, that's 7 mana anyways. And we're going to use it to... we'll use 4 to depopulate, to kill the cityscape. And then 3 to play Wedding Announcement. That's something. It's not good, but it's something. It's an 8/8 Trampler. Gotta kill it. Oh, he can crew the Bankbuster. That's what's holding up the priority, which is just all that much more painful. I think our opponent is basically doing something else. They're not paying attention, and that's what's happening. He can recast Leveler, but there's not really anything for him to target. So I'm okay if you want to recast it. This is a really weird deck, and I don't even know how he got to where he is right now, because this deck would just get trounced by Blue-Eye Soldiers every day. I guess all the Blue-Eye Soldiers are mythic now, so you're not going to see that many often. Of course you want to draw a card. I want to draw a card too. Lure Urza. Fable. These are all very scary propositions. And for me, I get to draw a card. Look at that. Who would have thought I would have drawn a land at this point? Of all the cards I could be drawing. Let's try again. This time I'm going to draw 2 cards. Watch it be 2 planes. We got an enchantment, we got an artifact. Alright, it's not 2 planks, but one of them is a ramp for planks. Remember last game where we got 4 of our laydown arms? 4. This time we drew 21 cards, we got 0. Alright, he's gonna be able to ultimate Urza next turn, unless he somehow blocks this turn for whatever reason. Still gotta do it. Nah, he's not even blocking the way I want him to block, so... Urza's gonna ultimate. Does he have enough? Yeah, he has enough. So, I'm just gonna leave. If he blocked with Urza, at least I can Eiganjo it. That was my only one out. He did not, and I could not get out of that situation. And I could not get out of that game fast enough. Alright, I'm gonna stop here, because that deck was just not gonna win anything. I've seen this deck. This is not 100% my own construction. Right? If it was, I would chalk it up to bad deck building altogether. But I've seen this deck on tier lists, and supposedly it has a 55% win rate. It's not very high, but it's not as low as 0, which is what we saw today. However, I would not say it is because this deck is bad. It is bad, but it's not because it's bad that we got 0% win rate today. It is because the matchmaker decided, oh, you know what this deck needs to face against? Every single counter spell you can imagine. So what do we play against? First, a Jeskai control deck. Then, a Grixis control deck. Then, a all-color control deck. All but black. I don't know, they're racist. Anyways, that was all of our opponent. Basically, way more controllier than we are. And we got shafted. That being said, though, don't play this deck. I don't think it's very good. Honestly, this deck is leagues, in my opinion, leagues better than the mid-range deck. This deck is not that bad compared to the mid-range deck if we're facing against control. We got a lot of answers. We got Depopulate and Farewell. That definitely answers your opponent's big board. We got Wedding Announcement, Restoration of Eiganjo. That can definitely put out tempo to fight our opponent and deal damage. And we got Ambitious Farmhand and Spirit Companion to serve as card draw, card advantage, and also as blocker against aggressive decks. So overall, this deck has all the trappings to be a strong contention in the meta. However, if you see a blue opponent or if you see a control opponent, run, because you're going to lose that game and you're going to waste your time. All right, that's all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.